Okay. Good evening, everyone. There we go. All right. Give me one sec here. Chat. How's everyone doing today? Sorry for the change in schedule. Something came up on the weekend. And well, we're here now. So that's good. I had some questions come in at the time of registration. Sorry, something's not plugged in here. One sec here. Sorry. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna lose power in a second, so that's a nice warning. Here we go. All right. Okay, so I had some questions come in and some people asking about the trucker thing going on. I'm gonna give it not I'm not going to get into it too much, but for those of you who might be curious, because there's a few questions about it, it really depends what you're watching. So, like with anything, when media, that normal media is going to say one thing, but if you listen to the real stuff, it is completely peaceful. There's jumpy castles, families there, and I don't know how they're bearing the cold. So I'm sending them love every day, and I'm sure so many people are supporting them. It's really neat from an energetic standpoint because Canada's never really done anything like this before. So it's really hard to say where this or how this is going to go, but energetically, every second of every day, the light and support on this planet is getting stronger. So anything that's happening, anything that's happening, it's almost like it's unpredictable in a good, more positive way than ever before. Because if you look back, and if this was happening, say, 2 years ago or even 1 year ago, the dense dark consciousness energy on Earth was heavier. And they would be able to have already broken this up and make it disappear. But there's so many opening hearts of people who are opening their minds to, okay, what is going on? People going outside the normal media where, things coming through are censored and not really truthful. And people are starting to be more aware. Now, the thing that's going on here, there's people who are awake, there's people who are starting to wake up, and there's people that aren't ready to wake up. So we're all in different stages. So when you're talking to someone and their narrative is very different from yours, the best place to come from is a place of compassion and non-judgment, because we can't blame someone for not understanding or not thinking that what's happening, their world, their perceptions aren't right, if that's all they know. So if someone's waking up in the morning, they're going to do their job, they're listening to the regular newscast, and they're hearing things like, oh, there's a violent protest going on. Well, if that's their narrative, and be fearful, and you have to wear a mask, and you have to do this and you have to do that, and they're not broadening their horizon, how are they supposed to know anything different? So how can we judge them for being scared or not understanding? Should they get frustrated saying, well, they should be more open-minded, they should listen to other things, but maybe they're not ready to be. Maybe it's out of their comfort zone. So not everyone's going to wake up at the same time. Some of us woke up a long time ago. Some of us are just waking up. Some of us, we're all on different timelines. We're all on our own soul's journey. So what this trucker convoy means to me, it's a unity of so many people across the nation. It's not just, it started with the truckers. Thankfully, they had the trucks to do it, but it is being supported by Canadians all over. It's interesting because I was talking to someone who said, well, the government said they have all these funds coming towards them. They must be funded by some terrorist group. And I'm like, okay, well, if fellow Canadians adding money to the cause, like, how they're being labeled in any way to make things scary. So, the dark energy on this planet has always used tactics to bring fear, worry, uncertainty, division, because that's what gets them stronger. But as people start to break away from that and say, no, we want to unite, we want to be friends with our neighbors, we want to stop the fighting, we want to stop the division, we want to be more compassionate, we want to be non judgmental, we want to band together. Well, that sense of love and togetherness adds a very nice positive momentum, which actually breaks down the darkness's power. So what's happening is the darkness is thinking, okay, what are other ways? So they're actually hanging by a thread. And it's such a beautiful thing to feel. Like you can feel the shift in energy. So I think a month ago, the energy was so heavy and dense around Christmas because everyone's hope kind of dwindled away. But now we're kind of in this new energy where people are saying, okay, there is hope. No one's, it's not just about one thing. It's not about, just not being vaccinated. It's not about this or that. It's about, freedom of choice, not being scared of your neighbor, allowing kids to be kids, having fun again, being social, because that is better for our mental health. That's better for our social, we're social beings. We've had 2 years of lockdowns. There are people telling stories about many children who have passed away due to suicide, and that's being shown on YouTube now. And that's why they're protesting. They're saying, I have nothing to lose. I lost my child. So here I am protesting for our rights of freedom because I'm standing up for my child who I lost. Or other things like that. It's not just that, it's the mental health of everybody. So there's so many stories running in the background, and that's where you're bringing in so many people from different paths, different careers. There's doctors there's truckers there's career people there are lawyers there's everything there. There's no judgment. They're just banding together in a very peaceful gathering, which can be labeled as a protest or this or that, but it's got this beautiful momentum of light energy, of togetherness, of compassion. There's a lightness to it. And it's actually caught on. It's got the attention of 30 different countries saying, go Canada. And there's other countries that are now on bypasses saying freedom. So it's becoming a worldwide movement towards unity. Let's stop the division. Let's stop the fighting. So it's beautiful. I feel it so strong in my heart. And when I talk about it, I can get emotional. It was like, I knew this was coming. I could feel like this is the one step forward that we're making. It's kind of a really beautiful, it's kind of snowballed into something bigger. But where we're going at now is like, because we're in this ascension process, whether we like it or not, whether we understand it or not, the dark energy on this planet is leaving, and it knows it's going. It doesn't want to go. It's been here for thousands of years, but it's going. And this new energy that's helping humanity flourish, our vibrations increasing, our consciousness is increasing. And with that, what's going to happen is we're going to create this new world, which some could say is like the heaven on earth. What's happening is as we release darkness, we're anchoring more light. But it's just something we have to do in stages. So it's like we take 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step. And when we go in that back stage, it doesn't feel good, but we're always kind of making momentum forward. Now, if we look at timelines, how long is this going to go through? Could be 7 years, but let's fast forward to 10 years into the future. And then we look back and say, wow, how did we get here? We did it. What could have we done better? So we'll learn from this, but we're kind of in uncharted territory. And that's where that uncertainty feeling, that uncomfortable feeling is, because if you think about it, maybe 5 years ago, what was your life like? Okay, it was a yearly thing. We did Christmas, we did this holiday, went to work, did this. Last 2 years, it's been like this whole crazy, the unknown, don't know what's happening. It's kind of been this reset. So a lot of people will look at the lockdown as it had some positive things, a lot of negative things. But if we look at any situation, we try to look at the positive then it adds more of a positive spin. So for me, there was a lot of downtime where I did a lot of self reflection, and probably 2020 and 2021 were my best growth years ever for me personally, because I really took that time to look in and release things. And I hear that from a lot of clients where, if this didn't happen, I wouldn't have stopped to really start to look at me. So a lot of people have some beautiful stories of, what happened to them during this time. And it's been difficult, to say the least, for all of us to some extent. So as we take a deep breath and we move into this new energy of 2022, it is more about revelation, and things are going to start coming to the surface, information. And it's not going to make people feel good, because they're going to feel lied to, or, how can this be possible? Or this doesn't make sense, because it's something that they're not ready to hear. So as this information starts to come up, I feel there will be some big shifts in some countries with governments. I think ours will be more of a peaceful one, but I really do feel that momentum of change coming in a peaceful way. But in some other countries, there may be change that isn't so peaceful, and that can be unsettling. But it is the shifting of, governments, changing of school structures. But in the end, what's happening is it's shifting to a better way of living. So it's not going to be like everything that you love is taken away. Think about what we love about this beautiful planet, what we love about our friends and family, and take that and push it forward. And all the things that we don't like, the fighting, the politics, the backstabbing, the lies, and leave that in the past. But for that to shift, it is this timeline. We're on an accelerated timeline, meaning we're moving through it quicker. But there's still the movement of the two energies. So right now we have that light and love energy mixing with the dark, and as it's leaving the planet, it's being replaced. That's what we're seeing, that uncomfortable feelings. So how do you get through that? How do you stay resilient? So yes, another thing's happening. How do we get back up and still go to work and be there for our family and friends? It's self-care. Self-care is so important at this time. It's taking that alone time, taking deep breaths, because that's what's connecting you to who you truly are. The answers are within. And a lot of clients will ask me a lot of questions. I'm like, you have the answers too. We all are connected. We all have that answer. And sometimes I like to hear it from someone else, because I'm like, okay, what I'm feeling feels right, and they're feeling it too. So that's kind of confirmation for me. And then, so we're all kind of confirming, do you feel it? Do you feel the shift? We're making it. I 100% know we're going to make it. Humanity's making it, and we're going to move into a really beautiful future. As we move through it, there's still that uncomfortable phase. We've done 2 years of it. I think it's just going to come in slightly different, a little uncomfortable, because we might see things we don't like, or things like that. But there's definitely a positive momentum as we go on through this. Apparently, each and every one of us came on this earth willingly, knowing that there was a possibility we would go into the ascension process. And thankfully we did, because if we didn't, we wouldn't want to be on here right now, or we wouldn't have, still maybe we wouldn't be here at this time. So it is a beautiful process. It's uncomfortable, but when we connect to who you truly are, it can bring great comfort. Or talk to people who are like-minded. The last thing we want to do is, if I'm in an upset mood or feeling a little unstable, is talk to someone who's going to talk about gloom and doom, because there are some people who are still thinking that way, and it's going to take time for them to shift out of it, and that's okay. But I don't want to hang out in that forum. I'd rather speak to people who are really saying, hey, you know what, things are moving positive, and let's make the best of it, because that feels good to me, and that's what I like to surround myself with. And if I don't have anyone like that to talk to, well, then I'll just go have a meditation, I'll take some quiet time, I'll read a book, I'll dance to music, I'll go for a walk. I do my best to keep myself and my thoughts very high. when we're thinking about positive things, more positive thoughts come in. And in essence, we create our own reality based on our thoughts, our actions, and our words and everything that. So, what are we putting out there? So, if you sit back and you think, okay, the world is what it is. We're in a human consciousness creation here. This is humanity's created this, so it's something we need to get out of. That's fine. That's happening. But how am I going to, live through this through my perceptions, my actions, my thoughts? So I can either think doom and gloom, be scared of everything around me, and go into a place of lower vibration where when you're in a lower vibration, you're feeling all the scary thought patterns and worries and anxieties. It's not a nice place to be down there. I've been there, I know. So I don't like being down there. But as I raise my vibration, or as you raise your vibration, what happens is all that stuff that we don't like is here, but you're up here enjoying peace, harmony, fun. So then people will say, like right now, you have so many different perceptions. You can talk to 10 different people and ask them, hey, how has your last week been? And you're going to get a whole different array of perceptions. Just like if you had 10 people walking down the street, you're going to get some people saying that was the scariest walk ever because I saw this person, they looked at me this way, I felt really creeped out, I saw this. And then you're going to have someone on the totally opposite and in a totally different state of mind saying, that was like the most beautiful walk. I saw the leaves on the trees, birds singing, people were smiling, and you're going to get every variation in between. We're all still in the same environment, but our thought process, what we're looking for in life, what we're thinking about, gets brought to us. So if you're one who's thinking on more of the negative, we're somehow calling in more negative. When you're more on the positive, you're calling in more positive. So then where do you want to be? And a lot of people will say, well, it's obvious where we want to be. We want to be in the more positive. So in that case, then just why not do it? Well, of course, it's not that easy because when we have a momentum of a thought pattern, it's hard to break it. But it's not impossible to break it. It's work. Everything, and what did someone say to me the other day? Everything easy is not good for you. So anything that comes easy, so I can overeat, I can drink, I can do this, I can think negative thoughts, all that comes so easy. But when I want to, eat healthy, work out, think positive, is work. And why is that? Is because we're in an energy on earth where, although the darkness is leaving that dense energy, it's still here. And it's easier to just fall into what humanity's used to doing. It's in our nervous system, it's in our cell patterns, but we can break it. Now, how do you break it? Practice, practice. Every day, do something positive for yourself. Look in the mirror, look in your eyes, and say, I'm beautiful, I'm kind, I'm love, I deserve great things. When you look in your eyes in the mirror, you're looking at your soul. And when you talk to yourself like that, you can feel almost like tears well up because you can feel that love for yourself. Having self-love and knowing you're safe, knowing you're protected, are such a great feeling. It can really develop a lot of emotions. So that's one thing I do every morning is I look in my eyes and just talk to myself and just say, I'm going to have a really great day today. And yeah, there's worries. We all have worries, but the more I worry about something, the bigger it gets. So I never put energy into a worry. I put energy into thoughts of every day we're getting better and better. You know what? This convoy that's happening is growing such beautiful momentum. It's going to stay peaceful because we are peaceful Canadians. We are full of love and we don't need any other way to make our point across. Honking horns is what we're doing. Like that's the worst of it at this point. Now I know some people might say, yeah, but this bad thing happened, but sometimes bad groups join to put a damper on things. So they'll stop. So, so we don't want to focus on that or give it energy. Just give energy of, hey, I'm moving forward. I'm waking up every morning. My body's getting healthier. So if I'm not feeling good and I start focusing on how healthy my body is getting, I'm adding positive momentum for my body to get better. I'm eating healthier. I'm exercising more. I'm talking to fun people. I'm meeting new friends. I'm meeting kind people. All those things add a positive momentum in your life, but it's also adding a positive momentum to the human collective. And those who are awake and those who can do it with a lot of intention are really adding a huge momentum in that way. So I like to think I can't think anything positive. I'm sorry, negative, because I do not want to add one little bit of power to that side. What I want to do is send love, happiness, joy, and be extremely high vibration. So I'm adding that momentum into love, which diminishes the darkness. The more of us that start to do that, then we're going to shift out of this faster. So maybe this 7 years will go to 5 years. So who knows, maybe less, because there are people waking up all around us. It's so beautiful. And like just listening to these truckers and they're shaking people's hands and you see kids on bouncy castles playing in the freezing cold, it brings like beautiful feelings of love in my heart. And then I focus on that beautiful feeling, saying, you know what, wouldn't it be nice if everyone in the world, no matter what they're going through, could feel that love in their heart? So today, when we do this meditation, we're going to do it for us. We're going to ask that our hearts are filled with love, compassion, a feeling of safety, with health and happiness and joy, all that good stuff. And we're going to ask that anything that needs to leave our field, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, just let's get rid of it. We don't need this dense energy anymore. We want it replaced with love and light. Of course, we only can remove so much per session because we have to do this in layers because our 3D bodies are used to a certain energy field. So as we decrease some of the denser energy, replace it with light, our 3D bodies have to kind of catch up with that. So it does have to be done in stages. But let's try to get out as much as possible today. Then we'll make this energy available to anyone in your household, any pets. We'll do a clearing of your house. And then we can go a step further and say, hey, I have someone in another country or another household I'm worried about. And I know they don't join these calls, but I would like to make that energy available to them. So it's like sending a prayer. We can't force this energy on anyone, but we can make it available. And it's up to that person's higher self, depending on their journey, how much they'll take. Then we can send out love to all of humanity and the earth. I usually picture the earth here, and we're all holding the light around it. And that helps Mother Earth heal. As Mother Earth heals, humanity heals. As humanity heals, Mother Earth heals. We're all very connected. It's all very beautiful. We can add love to the oceans and the animals that are going through this process as well. It's humans that are driving this process, but everything is going to benefit from it. So we are anchoring the light on this planet. So it's very powerful. Every intention, every good thought you have matters. It is magnified. It's like dropping a pebble into a pond. The ripple effect continues. You may not notice it, but everything that you do is adding a momentum. So do we want to add positive momentum or negative? Now, some people say, oh my gosh, I've been adding negative momentum. Oh, I take it back. I take it back. You know what? It is what it is. Just start now. So whenever a negative thought creeps in, you kind of want to be on top of it right away, because one negative thought, 16 seconds later, will bring in another one. If you're not paying attention because you're worrying about the future, regretting the past, not really in the present moment, you now have 3 or 4 negative thoughts, which is now going to start to bring down your vibration. And then you have to kind of climb out of that hole. And it gets exhausting. Some of us go on this roller coaster, right? I feel great. And I dive down, and I have to get out of it, and I feel great. And it's like, why can't we just stay up here? Because it's work and you have to stay on top of every thought. And that's where meditation comes in, and that's where awareness comes in. So once you're living in present moment and awareness, and you can be in awareness as much as possible, then you want to be like a virus scanner. So that's how I try to live my life. Can't say it's 100%, but I pretty well stay on top of it. But it's a learned way of living. But now it's easier than ever before. So here I am living life, and all of a sudden a negative thought will come in. Well, that negative thought is not my thought. It's not coming from within me. It is an outside intrusion trying to get my attention, or not get my attention, trying to bother me, let's say. So I think of the negative energy as little mosquitoes. I don't give it any power. It has no power over my life. All right. I am in love. I am in light. And that is what I strive to connect to. So if a negative thought comes in, I ask my guides, I'll ask Archangel Michael, angels, God, the creator, source energy, whatever comes to my mouth at that point, please dissolve this negative thought I'm having. It is false and it is not mine, because I am protected and loved by source, by God, by light. And every day I stand in my power and I move forward in love and light. I'll just say something like that. Whatever the words are, they change all the time. If you're interested, I have a lot of affirmations I say every morning, which is just saying, hey, my life I will not tolerate any negative interference. I'm breaking anything that's, trying to get in, any cords, any karmic loops I have, anything like that, because I am here to hold the light for those who can't. I'm going to do my best every day to do that. And I ask for the support of these light beings that are helping humanity move forward. So I am constantly, if I'm not talking to a client, I'm not talking to my child, I am talking to my guides. That's just the way I roll, because that keeps me in present moment. So I might not be talking out loud, but I am talking out. Actually, I am talking out loud quite a bit, because my kids will ask me, who you're talking to? And they kind of stop asking, because I do talk out loud a lot. I try not to talk out loud. If I'm in the grocery store, I try to make a conscious effort as I'm walking through the grocery store, talking to my guide, saying, hey, let's send love to everybody in this grocery store. Let's see how many people we can get their attention with love just pouring through. And it's so neat. It's fun to do, because you can be walking down an aisle and someone will just turn around and smile. Well, if I was in a grumpy mood, spreading negative energy, I wouldn't have gotten that smile. But the fact that I've asked Source to allow this light to come through me and out of me, it brings me smiles as I'm walking down the aisle. So I do get in that state of love and light before I enter a public space, so I can hold the light for those who can't. And then I love to see the reactions of people, because some will just walk by me and not feel it, but that's okay. They're just not ready to feel the love. But there are so many hearts that are just ready to open, or that are open, that will feel it, and they'll sense it at an energetic level. And for those who can't, well, regardless if they're not feeling it, you are helping them out. Because if someone is in a hole, I said, say they're like just covered in darkness, your light is very active, it is strong. Dark energy is the absence of light, it's not strong. So what happens if you're in this state of love and you're beside someone who's not, your love energy is actually chipping away at their darkness. It may not penetrate, they may not feel it, but you help chip away some of their darkness. So it's like when there's a jar, and I've used this analogy before, but I love this one. There's a jar, it's stuck. Well, everyone's trying to twist the jar, and finally somebody opens it. Well, in some cases, we're just that person who tried to twist the jar, but it didn't open. But your effort was part of their awakening later on. So a lot of people who you've met, who you may have smiled at, you may have held some love for them, or looked them in the eye and give them a smile when they didn't feel love from anything, that goes a long way. And it helps their momentum build. And one day their heart will open up. And you had something to do with it, although you may never know about it. So that's kind of this like this popcorn effect, this cascading effect is beautiful. And just knowing that you can be part of that just is exciting. So you can make every second of every day a part of adding this beautiful positive energy and knowing that you are making a conscious effort in moving us forward in this beautiful ascension process that we're in. Okay, it is 9 o'clock, and I'm just gonna check the chat here to see if I didn't miss. I saw some stuff coming in, but I was in the chat there. Um, so yeah, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of information is starting to come out. Some people are not going to be able to handle this information that comes out for sure, but you know what, just take a few deep breaths and connect. And no matter what you're hearing, no matter what you're seeing, connect to your heart, take a few deep breaths. And one thing that I do is sometimes I hear information that's new to me, or it might be another person who does what I do and they have a different perception on something. And there's a part of me that say, oh, I don't need to listen to this. I already know it. And then I realize, okay, that's my ego. So now I have to listen to it. And what I do is I go into active listening, and I'll just go in with an open mind saying, hey, I may not understand what this person's saying. I may not agree with this person's saying, but I'm just going to listen to what they have to say, because there's something inside me that's resisting what they're saying. And I would like to know why. Generally, I'll just listen, and I'm like, you know what? I'm glad I listened to it, because it taught me something. It taught me how, say, others are thinking. It made me look at a situation a slightly different way than I would normally. So I'm always learning and growing. So instead of having this tunnel vision, what I once did, where my life was totally different than it is today, I have now just keep expanding and expanding and expanding and expanding. And I'm making it unlimited because there's infinite possibilities that can happen. So although I do feel there's sometimes resistance, because if something new comes in, I'm like, okay, not sure I like this, but it's the unfamiliar, it's the unknown that's making me uncomfortable. So that's when I take a deep breath, I go within, I listen to whatever, and then I develop my own truth. Is this something that I agree with? Is this something that I want to accept? Just like when I talk, there are things that people may not agree with, and that is completely fine. Say, okay, Brenda said this was okay, this, no, I'm putting it in a box that doesn't mean anything to me. But at least you listened, right? And you can choose what I like, what I don't like, and not. So it's when we don't want to listen. It's when we tense up with emotion that like, oh no, I don't want to listen to this. And that's where we're getting a lot of like polarity and arguing. And that's what the government's kind of promoting, fight, don't listen to each other, polarity, separation. But that's because that gives the dark energy power. But if you just say, hey, listen, we're different, we have different perceptions, we have different religions, we have different this, we have different that, that's okay. But we have a common thing. We're all connected. We're all have a human consciousness. We're all making a difference in the way we think and stuff. So why not come to a common ground that, hey, you know what, we are different, but I accept you on your differences, and let's at least show non-judgment and compassion to each other and smile to our common, neighbor and things like that. So anyway, I'm not going to go on and on about it, but in the end, love will prevail. Forgiveness prevails. That connection in your heart is so strong. Just allow it to give you that peace that you need. And we'll get into the healing right now. Okay. So yeah, there's, and a lot of the triggers that we have, you can even ask them if during this healing today, you can make an affirmation and just say, sometimes when I'm listening to something that I don't like, I get resistant and I want to be more open-minded. So, beings of light, God, whatever you believe in, just say, help me be more understanding and open-minded. So at least I can listen to something without formulating all these, these comebacks and not really listening. So you can ask whatever you want for this healing today. All right, I'm gonna put on the music. Just so you know, when the music comes on, you may not hear me as clearly. I don't think I'm gonna talk through this one. If I do, I'll try to talk loud. Usually if you see me mumbling, I'm just talking to my guides as we do this. I sometimes wave my hands. That just happens naturally. I don't even notice I'm doing it. And you can just relax, close your eyes. You can keep them open, but I think it just feels better with your eyes closed. There's nothing you have to think about. If you're thirsty, drink water. At the end, I'll use my singing bowl just to clear out the energy. It may not sound great, but the intention is fantastic. It's still working. And I'll stay on for any questions afterwards. And I think we're good to go. All right. And if you can't hear the music, let me know in the chat. Perfect. I'll start this one from the beginning. There we go. All right, now I'm gonna make it a bit clearer. I'm gonna have it come right from my system. Okay, everyone. So that's the end. The energy is going to continue doing what it needs to do. You're all put in a bubble of liquid love that will continue to protect you. Just know it's there. Tap into it anytime you need it. Allow the healing to continue. Drink lots of water if you're thirsty. Okay. I'm just going to be silent for a minute, just in case people are still in it. For any of you who want to hang up and just stay in that Zen feeling, go ahead. Okay. Okay. If there's any questions, feel free to ask. I'm still a little spinny from that. The energy, I did some healing sessions today, and they've been so profound lately. It's amazing. It's like everyone's getting such a nice clearing. It's the allowance has gone up. It's hard to even explain how. It's just so different, so beautiful. But that just goes to every second of every day. The light on this planet is getting stronger. It's a new energy that the earth never had before. And healing is happening like faster than ever. Miraculous things are happening like faster than ever. It's beautiful, so beautiful. So we're going to continue these calls, and I'll keep sending out that love, that momentum. And, these calls started at the beginning of COVID, and I think we're coming to the end of it. So just keep fighting lots of love as we shift out into the next stage of revelation, which might be a little uncomfortable, but again, nothing we can't handle. Just go within, go within. Yeah, my music is not a secret. I can actually send it directly to you. Actually, I can just tell you there's one song that I absolutely love. I'm just gonna maybe I can share my screen and you can see my music list if you're interested here. And I'll play one right now. It melts my heart, and I meditate to this one often. A lot of people ask me about this one. Okay. I love this one. This one I just put on replay in a meditation. It just penetrates my heart so beautifully. I have no idea what she's saying, but it's just so beautiful. Sometimes I just blast it in the house too. Okay, I'm trying to share my screen. And if I share my screen, where my thing go? Hold on a second. Oh, here it is. Okay. I'll share my screen and you can see the playlist. The first two songs I don't play so much in here. I usually use it for some corporate stuff I do because this other music is a little bit too intense for corporate people. So the first two songs are okay, but the rest are what I generally use. Okay. Second screen. Screen two. Okay, I think you should be. Let me know. I think you should be able to see my screen now with my music on it. And the one playing right now is called Kiss of a Rose, which is one of my favorites. I've been playing that one for years. It's crazy. I just love this one. Sometimes it can be actually too intense. And if I'm using it in a client session, some people will actually say, whoa, that one's too deep. And as we go through this, I know a lot of people are hurting. Where I'm seeing it in many, many people. A lot of heavy stuff going on for a lot of people. Part of it has to do with healing and really connecting to who you are. So honor the feelings and then ask for help to release them. Because as we're healing, all that suppressed energy of our lives, and so many people have had traumatic lives. I get it. I find light workers and old souls are picked on a lot. So our lives aren't so easy. And when we have to release it, well, it's best to release it. It can come up and make us feel very disoriented, heavy, emotional, angry, sad, all those things. Cloudy. Sometimes we can't even think because we're in it. Sometimes you just sit down and just say, okay, I'm ready to let it go. You don't have to understand where it's coming from, how old you are when this happened, nothing like that. Just honor the feelings. I obviously have some trauma. It's releasing now. I honor it. I'm letting it go, but acknowledge it and let it go. If you ignore it, it's going to go back in and it's going to try to come out later. So just let it out. And if you have to have tears, have your tears. If you want to punch a pillow, punch a pillow. It's okay, because that's what you should have did before, but you didn't, and you repressed it, and it's coming out now for the healing. So just let it go, because if you don't let it go, it's just going to keep reoccurring. And another thing too is, there's patterns that we have, and the universe will give you examples to show you your pattern. If there's a pattern in your life that keeps coming up, resurfacing, it's because you haven't learned that lesson. You haven't acknowledged it. You haven't moved forward in it. Trust me, was in this pattern of stupidity for so long, until I actually had to look at myself. It's very embarrassing to look at oneself and say, oh my gosh, I hold this stupid pattern. I'm just like a textbook case. So you look at the pattern, you acknowledge it, you learn from it, and then you let it go. And that pattern will not return. But you have to have that healing. It's part of our karmic loop. It's kind of part of our soul's healing, our soul's journey. But if you suppress it or fail, I'm gonna say, like, I failed every time the universe would present me with a nice learning experience. I'd fail it. It would come back with another example, just a different face, same kind of experience. I failed that one, another face, different experience, same type of thing. Failed it. And then you go, why? Like, what is going on with me? That's when you start to ask that question, what the heck is going on with me? You're getting somewhere. You're realizing, okay, the universe is giving me yet another way to heal the pattern or the subconscious, and go for it, and do it, and do the work, do whatever is necessary. If you're stuck in a pattern, can't get rid of it, try to use affirmations, try to meditate, talk through it. You might need some work to get rid of the block. Use these calls to ask, okay, I have this stupid pattern, I'm ready to let it go. And sometimes when you ask for that pattern to go, the universe will give you yet another try. Look at that horrible thing coming into your life as the best blessing, because that is, if you get over that, then you're done. So, it took me a long time to get over many of my patterns, but not to say I'm perfect, but wow, I'm a lot better. And I look back thinking, why didn't I just get it earlier? Were they so friggin' stubborn? And a lot of people I work with will say they are stubborn. They need to see something 100 times before it gets their attention. Yeah, I'm not sure why we're like that, but I'm in the same boat. So, but now I try to look for everything. Okay, what's the pattern? Why did that person say something? Because if it pissed me off, there's a pattern in me or a trigger that's triggering both of us. And I go and I, look for it. So I love these uncomfortable feelings now, because I look at it like, wow, okay, what am I going to learn today? What am I going to release today? It's like looking within, having no embarrassment, no shame, because you know what? We all have crap that we've gone through or whatnot. So who cares? you know what? We're here to learn and grow. So learn and grow. It's okay. Nothing to be ashamed of, and just own it. That's the one thing a big lesson I had to learn was own it. It's and don't lie. Oh, that's another big one. I used to fib all the time just because, you don't want to hurt someone's feelings, and someone hurt your feelings. Oh, did I hurt your feelings? No, I'm fine. I used to be such a pushover, thinking that my kindness was helpful. No, my kindness was just a lack of self-respect for myself and self-love. And that's why I let people treat me the way I did. So now I don't lie. If I didn't like something, I just tell someone I didn't like it. And if they don't like it, well, too bad. Just stay out of my space. And I'm okay with that. Not that I'm mad at them, but you know what? There's boundaries. There's healthy boundaries. And just because you're a spiritual person does not mean that you have to be a doormat. And I used to think that, well, if I'm spiritual and I love everybody, it's okay if people treat me badly. No, it's not okay. Because, that's just a sign that there's some self-love missing. And I believe most of humanity's issues are a lack of self-love. So as you heal, you're starting to love yourself again. You're bringing these soul fragments back that were hurt in the past back into your heart. You're healing. You're more empowered. And when you're in that state of love, you're less likely to hurt anyone, but then you're also less likely to allow others to hurt you, because really, you matter and you're powerful. And just find that power and just allow your inner beauty to shine through, because you're all beautiful beings of light, all powerful. And if anyone ever makes you feel otherwise, they're wrong. So stand up for yourself and just love yourself for what it is. And with that being said, there's a lot of self-love going on in my heart right now. It's like, so I feel really good. I'm going to go have a relaxing time and get a good sleep. For those of you who don't sleep well after these sessions, that is okay. That's just a part of your healing, the part of the processing. But you can make an intention to say, hey, after these sessions, I have crazy dreams. Okay, I'm going to allow those crazy dreams to play out, because it's clearing the subconscious mind, it's filtering stuff. That's fine. But I don't want to remember them. I don't want to be a part of them. I want to watch a beautiful story while the processing is happening in the background. And it can be done. So it's setting the intention if you do have like really crazy dreams after these sessions, or if you can't sleep because you're burping all night or something like that, you can just ask, okay, allow that all to leave, but give me a peaceful sleep. So setting any intention is very powerful. So talk to your guides. They love you so much. They're with you 100% of the time. They're part of you. So just ask away, ask and it's given. And, ask for miracles, because miracles are happening every day. This is a new energy where miracles are happening. Love around the world is expanding. And I really have a really, really positive attitude, because I can just feel it in the air. We're in that 2 steps forward. Let's push as far forward as we can during it. All right, everyone, have a beautiful night. Sleep well and stay in that bubble of love. All right, everyone. Thank you for all the kind words. And I think this one taped. This last one didn't. I'll get it uploaded and put it on YouTube. All right, everyone. Have a great night. I'm going to shut the recording off wherever it is. Oh, there we are. Okay, everyone. Stop.